Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Soul School Network. I'm Greg, your host today, and we have a very special guest with us, Roland Cousins. I'll give you a little more information on Roland's life and his goals, which will be great to hear about here on Soul School Network. We always start off with a visit by Corianka and helping us with a grounding meditation to kind of get into the mood of things and settle into the conversation. So, Orianka, please take it away.
Okay, thank you. Let's start then by closing our eyes or softening our gaze. And now we're going to be paying attention to our breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth in a way that feels relaxing. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and one more time. We'll start scanning our bodies for any tension there might be, starting at the head, and we'll do this together. We'll just observe without making any meaning out of it. Scan the crown of your head and the back of your head. Your face and neck. Shoulders. One arm and then the other, all the way down to your hands. Now your back, from the neck all the way down to the final bone of the spine. You can focus your attention now on your chest and your abdomen. Are there any sensations so far, any muscle tension? Just observe that for now. Continue with your right leg and foot and your left leg and foot. Wherever you found tension, let it go gently by visualizing that it is a white cloud that slides down your body all the way to your feet, leaving your body through the soles of the feet. Perhaps there will be many clouds of tension. That's okay. Just let them go. Let them go to Pachamama for transmutation. You can feel good about letting them go. Once tension is out of your body, it will be transformed into life-giving energy by Mother Earth. You can now stretch your body and make sure you are comfortable wherever you are. Keep on breathing in a relaxing way. You are a beloved child of the earth, deeply connected to her. Notice how your feet are planted on the ground, either physically or energetically at all times, feeling the earth with the soles of your feet. You can feel how your energy grows and extends itself from the soles of your feet towards Mother Earth. You are growing energetic roots that go into the moist, rich soil under your feet, uniting you with the mother, receiving nourishment and love from her. The more your roots extend and go deeper and deeper into the earth, the more you feel deeply grounded and held in love by Mother Earth. Stay present in this moment. Remain grounded and present in this moment. Grounded and present. Gently go back to your breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now you can slowly open your eyes when it feels good to you and move your body slowly as you come back.
Thank you, Koryanka. I love that we're now all connected, deeply rooted into Mother Earth, and here for this great conversation today. Welcome, everyone. We have a wonderful guest today on Soul School Network. I welcome those who are here joining us on Zoom and also those who watch us later on YouTube. Our website is soulschoolnetwork.com, and you can find out about our future events there. It is Sunday, August the 2nd, and our guest today is Roland Cousins. He's from St. Louis. I guess you would say Roland describes himself as a regular guy who has faced many challenges in his life. He had some struggles in college, faced big challenges in the military, in the Army as a commissioned officer in the U.S. But today, I think we call him an inspiration. Roland overcame many of his challenges and he began walking his path. What he did was found a way to pursue his own purpose. And now he works with people like you and me to help us all live up to our life potential and also to find our purpose. So, welcome, Roland. It's great to have you here, and we're looking forward to learning more from you today.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. That intro
Well,
was amazing. That I couldn't have done a better intro than you. And
well, I stole all the information from you, so that's always a good sign. Roland, maybe it'd be great if you could start off telling us a little bit about your life, the challenges you faced, and what kind of pushed you towards moving towards more of insightful spiritual path, I guess you would say.
well, it started in college where I first became I met my wife. I wasn't raised in no church. Actually my mother kept us from church, me and my brothers from church because I think she was scarred and didn't I think to this day she don't trust the church. She believe in God, but it's something that's in her past that she didn't. So I wasn't raised religious, but when I went to college, met my wife, she brought me to church, and that started my spiritual journey. Um,
Oh,
and
wow.
then yep, and
That's great.
oh yeah, it's a lot of dreams that God was speaking to me in my dreams, and he was pulling me. And yeah, I believe in 100% of the Bible. Um, my teaching is based off biblical principles and philosophical, secular philosophical principles. Yep. I got a PowerPoint that I created for us today.
Okay.
Um,
We'll make sure you can share here then. Sue, would you mind
Yep,
opening the share?
Roland can
Or
share. Yeah.
great. And while you're getting that set up, I just want to say to everyone, Roland would love if you have any questions, to just interrupt and maybe throw your hand up in the chat, and we'll get those your answers as we go along. So feel free to join in the conversation.
Awesome.
Do you see the
Okay.
share button, Roland, at the bottom?
Yep, I see it.
Perfect.
Yeah, let me know if you guys.
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Almost. There it is.
All right.
You see the whole PowerPoint, yeah, and now it's just
Awesome.
the presentation itself.
Okay. Yep. So after college, I felt called to go to seminary school. So I went to Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary School, and I got my master's in theological studies. I deployed, was blessed to deploy and be around some good soldiers, and I came back out the army in 2020, and was just I was just dipping into a lot of stuff. Became a social worker. Then I self-taught myself IT, and went into IT, and then just exploring. I feel like life is you have to try and explore a lot of things, a lot of stuff. You know, but yeah, we can get started, and feel free, guys, to interrupt me. Anytime. I don't mind you guys interrupting me. But this is the first slide by Friedrich Nietzsche. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in our suffering. Um, this is a Russian philosopher and novelist, Fyodor Dostoevsky. He said, "There is only one thing I dread, not to be worthy of my suffering." I believe life, just living, is suffering. And when I was a kid, when we was kids, we didn't have anything to worry about, no bills, no stress, and we were just living life. And I believe when we get older, we endure. We endure more of life, and it can be a lot of suffering that comes with living this life. But I believe that God wants us to focus on, all right, what is our meaning in life? It has to count for something. And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. Steps to creating your own meaningful and satisfying life. I'm going to talk to you about 3 points. All right. I'm not going to be long. Just bear with me. But first, you have to believe, take action, and then the last point is to maintain and sustain. Believe. What do I want to pursue? I want you to ask yourself that. What do I want to pursue in life or change in my life? You must believe that it is possible. Jesus said, if you believe, Jesus said that, sorry, guys. If you believe, then it shall be given to you. You must believe that change is possible. We first must believe. This is the first step in anything we do. If you want to take action, lose weight, change your finances, whatever anybody wants to do, you have to first believe that it's possible. It starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. Um, when I got older, I I just kept living a life that other people want to live for me, or we can be around people that box us in. But when I start exploring and start accomplishing achievements in my life, I start realizing that anybody can truly do whatever they want to do. It's in the mind, and you have to believe, and that's 50% of it. You already halfway. Someone is already halfway there if they believe. How you think it separates us? What separates people from others is how we think. How we think of ourselves is separate us. Um, if if somebody if Walmart just starting off, let's use Walmart. And if it's 1,000 people, say 1,000 associates, sales associates, start off at the same level. 10 to 15 years later, it's going to be eventually managers, it's going to be store owners, it's going to be owners that own a Walmart. But then within those 15 years, you realize, okay, what separates them? Why this person wants to be a manager? Why this person wants to own a store? It's basically how they think of themselves is what separate us.
Let me ask you a question, Roland,
Hmm.
while you're here. You talked about how you went to a seminary, basically studied theology, and then into the military. How did you kind of put those two things together to to create your path? Was that a difficult
Uh,
uh,
I didn't
thing?
even want to. I didn't even want to join the military. I met a friend. He was in ROTC. He just got his commission. They call it they call it a butter bar. And so he became a lieutenant, and he was still working on campus. And he recruited me, and then he said, "Man, you athletic, you got the mindset, you this." I said, "Man, I do not want to join the army," but I was so afraid to move back to St. Louis that I said, "I'm going to do it." I took every opportunity. When I first went to college in '07, I dropped out. Um, didn't go back next year. I dropped out with all Fs and came back to St. Louis. And in '08, that was one of my probably worst years of my life. Um, and I was homeless. I was sleeping in a friend's basement. And once July came around, I told myself that I have to try something else. I have to try it again. So I reapplied for school. They put me on academic probation. And by August, I took a train. I took an Amtrak back to Jeff City, Missouri. And that was the last time I was in St. Louis until 2020. I came back. Me and my family just came back home in 2020. And when I was out there, I told myself that I have to take every opportunity to not be in the position I was in '08. So
So
really
those,
I joined for selfish reasons. But after the 10 years I was in the army, I left a patriot. Being
right.
around soldiers, being around men that will die for me. That's the one thing I missed about the army is being
Right.
around good soldiers.
And it probably gave you a lot of time to think about what you would do afterwards and to formulate your sort of life plan.
Oh yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a journey. you know,
Yeah.
uh, I got addicted to drugs after my first deployment, and my wife she found me on the floor. I almost overdosed. This is at Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas. And this was in 2018. And I drank some Jack Daniels. I took like 2 ecstasy pills, did some cocaine, and almost died. But I'm here for a reason, and I'm here for a reason, and I want to give meaning and do God's will and give meaning to people. And I believe that the fastest way that somebody wants to find their purpose in life, um, it can be kind of a cliche, statement. Oh, what's my purpose? Because ever since then, my teachings has changed. But the fact I believe we find our purpose by providing meaning to other people. Um, um, that's what I believe. Um, is our gifts, our purpose is always attached and connected to somebody else's happiness. Um, so
Yes.
I can. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let you carry on with your presentation, but I just want to let everyone know. Please jump in if you want to share your own stories that sort of parallel what happened with Roland as we go along. We're happy to hear that too. But Roland, let's take some action now.
Yes,
Well,
let's take
what did you just
action. Yeah,
say?
all right.
What
So,
did you just say, Roland, about your someone's purpose is tied to someone else's happiness? Could you explain that a little bit more?
um, like so, it took me a long time to realize this, and it's all throughout the Bible too. Like when we provide meaning to other people, I believe that what makes up a meaningful life is us focusing on the needs of others. And whether you as a musician, whether you is whatever somebody to do, right? Whatever somebody, whether you start a business or become a a teacher, you know, whatever it is always connected to somebody else's needs, their needs, their meaning, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So take action. So first, first you have to believe, and it can be whatever it is. A career, if you want to change your finances, lose weight, whatever it is, you have to first believe. Once you believe, you halfway there, and then the next step is taking action. All right. When it feels, I got this from the movie. So it was this movie called A Most Violent Year, and I will never forget this scene. And the guy at the table, he said, "When it feels scary to jump in, that's when you jump." And he said, "Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life." And a lot of people, um, most of people get stuck right here. They don't take the first step. First, they don't believe that they can do it, and then second, they don't take the first step. And I believe it's because of fear. And fear have a lot of elements to them. But once you take that leap, once you rely only on faith to get you there, you will be amazed of what can happen. This journey is like it's just been. I'm growing more. It's so amazing how the timing is now because Susan reached out to me at a time where I am so what's the word so fertile in my teaching right now because it's actually coming together. The things that I've been praying for, the things that I've been longing for, is slowly coming together. And I just got blessed with a franchise. Corporate laid me off. I worked at Ameren. Ameren, one of the biggest utility companies in the Midwest, and I was doing IT for them. At the NOC, at the Network Operations Center, where we configure routers and monitor routers and switches for our networks. And I got laid off. When you got a family, I have a wife and kids. My wife homeschooled. She's been homeschooling our kids for like 6, 7 years now. I can't when it's all on you, you cannot wait for a job to hire you. You have to go out and make something happen. And when you rely on God and faith and take them steps, oh man. So I'm working with a franchise advisor. She brought this resurfacing company to me. It's called Get a Grip Resurfacing. And I got blessed with the funding. As soon as I got laid off March the 31st of this year. I got approved for the funding 3 weeks after that. Next thing I know, I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the franchise headquarters, going through the 2 week training, franchise training, and I came back. I did my first tub resurface. I know I don't want to go off too much, but I just want to show you guys how just taking the first step and risking it. The lives that most people want is on the other side of fear and risk taking. That's the life that I believe that is a meaningful life, a satisfying life when you walk by faith, not by sight, when you take that step and when you rely only on faith and leave fear behind. So I love this quote by Bruce Lee. So after we take action, it has to be followed by consistency, whatever you're doing. He said long-term consistency is better than short-term intensity. Now, I'm the type of person that I believe in short-term intensity, but now I don't no more. I used to do big things. I used to do a lot in one day because I felt that I was getting ahead more faster if I did so much in my day. But then I realized I was burning myself out. I was doing so much on Monday, a little bit on Tuesday, and do nothing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But then I realized I started reading more books, and I started realizing like, wow, a lot of people is successful and have, you know, a good life, and they accomplish things because of short term, because of long term consistency. It's because they've been consistent. For, they do a little bit, but they do the same thing every day. And even my jogs, like I have a route that I do. It's about 1.5 miles that I jog every morning. Not every morning. It's about 3 4 times a week. And after the army, I started realizing I started like when I jog, I would have a fast pace, and I couldn't even get past a mile. I'm like, why am I? But then I had to train my brain to slow down and jog slow and know that hey, just one step at a time. And my run's been so fulfilling now, and you know, so it's about consistency. McDonald's, Burger King, people go to these restaurants, go to ubiquitous restaurants because they get the same experience because those companies is consistent and the consumer know that when they go, they will get the same experience. It's about consistency. I got this from this book, John C. Maxwell. He said, small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievement gained slowly over time. Chris Robinson said, stay attached to your participation, not your results. If someone is 600 pounds and they really serious about losing weight, it can be hard in the beginning, but everybody needs to build the momentum and understand that you need to focus on the participation of it and not your results. I believe that somebody had if you want to lose weight or go to the gym or lose or get down, you can't look in the mirror. You have to be obsessed with the participation. All right, momentum is mandatory. Momentum is one of the greatest advantages that any self-driven goal is building up momentum. Get past the third day, whatever goal that is. Just do it consistently. Just get past the third day, and it's going to be hard. It's hard for me not to go to the gym now. I mean, I have my lazy days, but I've been working out since I was 16 years old, and it's just hard to not. It feels uncomfortable not going to the gym. So it's momentum, right? We are what we pursue, and then after consistency is patience. Aristotle said patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Patience. Fight your mind to understand that patience is necessary in achieving results. It's a process, right? It's not about perfection or getting there fast. It's about progression. All right. It's about progression. Proverbs 16:32. Sorry, guys. If anybody has any questions, uh anybody can cut me off. If you want to cut me off and ask questions, this can be conversational as well. Just to put that out there.
I'm here. Hi, Roland.
Hey,
I'm Sarah.
hey,
Hi,
Sarah.
everybody. Good to see you. And I put my St. Louis shirt on, but I didn't know that you were from St. Louis.
There you go. Yeah.
It's the Cardinal is one of my spirit guide visitors. And so I was just delighted to hear that.
Nice.
I'm going to chime in on a couple of things that you've been speaking about. I do have a connection with St. Louis. I worked with an incarcerated writers program for quite some time, and I'm a writer and translator.
Okay.
And I corresponded with an inmate who was incarcerated when he was 16 for a nonviolent robbery. And, he'd fallen in with the wrong group of people, and there just wasn't, really other option for him at that time. And the judge had given him a very lengthy, difficult sentence, but then she pivoted because he got his degree, his undergrad, and while incarcerated, learned yoga, began teaching yoga, and then teaching inmates about mindfulness. And he ended up being released, I'd say 2021. Bobby Bostick is his name. I'll tell you more at another date because maybe you can connect with him because now he does talks and things like that about
Absolutely.
very similar things. And uh, to go back to what you were saying about Michelle's question about the purpose being connected to others, uh, we speak as a family, Michael and Susan. Michael's my father, Susan's my stepmom, and we often talk about serving and not exacting the service that is due to you. It's in one of the mantras that we say. And this idea that, and I say this to my community where I live in Woodstock, New York, if you're nervous, focus on service.
There you go.
Because whenever we're having a day, like you said, where you're lacking motivation or you're feeling like there's no progress, what's going
Yes.
on, instead of sitting and wallowing, think like, who's someone near me that I can bring a coffee to? Or
Right.
is there someone when I'm making a meal that can't cook right now? Can I bring them some of this soup or this stew? And right away, your problems are no longer your central focus.
Yes.
You're then thinking of someone else. How can I help you? And then that
There
gives
you
you
go.
that boost of energy
There you
when they're
go.
receiving. So I think that
Yes.
the purpose through providing meaning for others is sharing some of what you have in whatever capacity. And if we can't bring them a coffee or a meal where we can share some of our story and
Mm-hmm.
how we got up out of it or how we were motivated to move through it. And uh, all of the things that you're saying are so true and they're coming from your personal experience. You're saying, I know this because I walked through this. And I know that this was difficult to, to take a bite of that apple or whatever it is. And then once you begin, and then once you continue, it creates this system that you're walking us through. And this
Mm-hmm.
is there are so many philosophers and speakers that are saying the same thing in different words. And the point is, it doesn't need to change. We can keep saying it and keep saying it because people need to keep hearing it.
That's true.
I also give teachings that are similar, but I also need to hear it all as consistently and as often as possible because the mind is really trying to get us to go in a different direction. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
just have one more cookie, or oh, just don't work out today, or don't.
Oh
And
yeah.
like you said, this feeling of once you get used to doing the working out, the feeling that it gives you and the feeling of the results that you begin to see, and
Yeah.
then juxtapose that with the really love what you said about the running, about why can't I go as long? And it's because I really relate. I used to be the intense short term
Mm-hmm.
person, and I'm still in the shift
Me
of,
too. Yes. Yes.
because it's
Absolutely.
true that you'll burn yourself out. I'd had a, I now live with my partner and have more of a consistent foundation that I'm building with him and our homes. And I'd once had a whirlwind romance and I went to meet up with him in Paris. And I consistently find discarded fortunes on the ground. And when I got to customs in Paris, when I got off the plane, there was a fortune on the ground and it said,
Mm.
patience is bitter, but the
Wow.
fruit is sweet. And
Wow.
wow, I thought that meant I needed to be patient for this romance to, come to
Wow.
fruition. And it, of course, never did. It exploded catastrophically because
Yeah.
it was short-term intensity. It wasn't the
Mhm.
long-term prepping for the marathon of no matter what, things are going to be challenging. But if you're a person like me who is highly creative, highly curious, won't take no for an answer, will keep
Mhm.
finding ways. I'm also drawn to that intensity. I am
Mhm.
intense. And it took me, I guess, 40 years to discover it's not the way. It,
Mm.
it crash lands, it explodes, it ends in disappointment, and you cannot maintain it. So yeah, weaving these things in is just, I'm just so grateful that you're doing this and sharing these things about your personal story, because people really need it. And this is like you said, you do it, you begin it, and then angels in the outfield, something comes through to
Mhm.
say to you, to confirm, you just need to keep going and keep at it and
Yes.
help others to do that. And then you're gonna, if the money is not there yet, you're gonna know I helped that person with their day.
Mhm.
Maybe a week from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, they may return to you. It creates this beautiful tapestry. Of course, that's not why we do it, not because we're going to get something in return, but the return is already there just by doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great point. Great point. Because it's about the more I walk with God, the more I realize it's not this life is not about me. It's about others, and it's a scripture that it's a scripture in First Peter 4:10. It says we should use whatever gift we have received to serve others. And it's another scripture that says when if he who refreshes others will be refreshed. So if we just focus on the next person, you will have, I believe that is the fastest way to a meaningful, purposeful life when you focus on serving others. And it's this book I'm reading as well. I'm in the middle of so many books. I start and stop. I'm in the middle of like 8 books. I should just focus on one, and just but it's a book called Business by the Good Book. All right. It's about this book, the guy named David Stewart. He's the owner of Worldwide Technology. And he said the higher you go, the more you serving. The higher you go, the more you serving people. And, but yeah, good point. If does anybody else have anything before I move on?
You can tell why we call, I think Sarah, your first name must mean serendipity,
Yeah, yeah.
wearing a St. Louis shirt like that, and so many other stories that you've shared with us.
Well, we're very it's kismet, it's alignment, we're very much aligned, and I I love I remembered the scripture, or the ye have faith as small as a mustard seed, and you shall ask this mountain to move from here to there, and it will move. And
Yes.
I carry a mustard seed. I have mustard seeds, and I keep one, they're
Yeah.
small, in my
Nice.
medicine bag, that
Nice.
it doesn't need to be big. It could be so tiny.
Mm,
It needs to be pure though. Have that faith, and it
mm,
you'll see. We will see. And Michael, uh growing up, would always tell me the parable of the hiding the talents under a rock, or hiding the talents under a bushel, that
mm,
this child was given these 10 talents and he didn't want to lose them, so he'd hide them away.
mm,
But as a result, he wasn't shining his light, he wasn't sharing it with his community. It was having no impact on his own life or the life of those around him.
mm.
And, the idea is exactly this, that we need to discover each of us has been gifted, each of us has been given talents.
Yes.
And you're right, life is suffering. It's suffering to be in a human vessel. It's
Mm.
suffering when you have such a big spirit and you need to be contained. It's not fun. And this is that's the whole point about the leap. It's that you will only suffer short term, that you're going to be able to transcend that and turn the suffering into something that is beneficial for yourself, and then an example to others. And
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Thank you, Sarah. Anyone else want to jump in here, or we'll move forward with Roland's presentation?
Okay. So this guy, this licensed mental health counselor, Fred Silverstone, he's with the Harvard affiliated McLean Hospital. This guy says, without a defined sense of purpose, men can begin to wander. they become less motivated to stay active and engaged. And it eventually can trickle down and weaken both their physical and mental health. Even if your sense of purpose is gone, it's never too late to find it again. I have an example of my best friends. This is a true story, and he's still battling with mental health issues. This is my best friend's brother. In high school, to this day, he still have the running back record. He was that good, and he thought he was going to go to the University of Missouri after high school. It's just he just put all his I believe he put all his eggs in one basket, and he was just going after to go to the NFL, and it didn't work like that. And now, he graduated a year after us. I know a year before us, probably 2 years. I know right now he in his 40s. I'm 37, and right now he gets paid from the state. He get a shot every month, and I feel like he never recovered after high school. He never had a desire to have a plan B. And then he just be walking. He'll just be walking the streets. He will be just sitting on somebody else's porch. I pray for him. It's just a sad thing, but I believe if he had more meaning, and I try to get him to go back to coach and try to inspire him to go back to the same school and, become a coach and assistant coach. But, a lot of us go through this. People who possess a higher sense of purpose also tend to live longer. This is from the research study from Fred Silverstone. And according to report at the 2016 Psychosomatic Medicine, so they did 10 studies involving more than 136,000 people and evaluated the relationship between their purpose in life and the risk of death and cardiovascular disease. The participants the average age was 67. They were followed for about 7 years. All right. They noticed that the risk of death was about 20% lower for people who reported still having a strong sense of purpose. Okay. These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. I believe the three main questions in life everybody should ask, the three most important questions is, where did I come from? Why am I here? And where am I going? I'm sorry, guy. I don't want to be all over the place because that can be my brain. I can be all over the place. So feel free to give me back of if I jump off the course too far.
No, Roland, this is great because what you're saying is you can also look at where you are in life right now and make the decision that you can move forward based on your circumstances. And that's a strong message uh, for us, for many of us who are sort of feeling stuck.
Hmm.
So thank
Absolutely,
you for that.
Greg. Yes, and this is for all people, whether you living on the street or whether you rich. There's rich people who don't have God and still feel not a sense of meaning in life. There's poor people who feel the same way. That's why the Bible tells us godliness with contentment is great gain. You can be rich, but you can still have no sense of meaning. Right? So embrace failure. So after you take your action, whatever that is, and after you is consistent, you will there will be mistakes and failure. But when it comes, embrace it. Failure, I forgot what speaker said this. I would never forget this, what he said. He said, failure is not a person, it's an event. It's an event that happens, all right? And you just keep going after failure. Don't get paralyzed by it, but you keep going. Know that it's normal to fail. All right. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. Slow and steady is faster than fast and reckless. Slow and steady. That's what I'm learning now. The older I get, slow and steady is faster than fast and reckless. All right, this is our last point, right here. Um, Maintaining and this. So after a person has been consistent, has been patient, right? Maintaining and sustaining. To maintain that discipline, to maintain your goals, to maintain being the person you are, or the person that you want to become, it takes discipline, takes challenging yourself and being anchored.
All
Right?
the really tough things to to
Yeah.
do,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's about taking that next step.
Yes. Um, the compound. This is from the book from Darren Hardy of the compound effect. The compound effect is the principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices. Right? Proverbs 16:32. A better is a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city. I believe when it comes to maintaining and sustaining, these days now, I believe that we have to fight hard to ignore distractions compared to, let's say, 1,000 years ago, where those people were forced to be creative. They were forced to be creative, and now, if somebody really want to be creative and really want to achieve a lot in life, it's the amount of distractions can you ignore
Yeah.
and be anchored. I will explain that later on. What is your anchor? So a couple years ago, I started wearing these anchors, uh, these necklaces. It's really becoming, and people always compliment me on my anchor more than a gold chain. They're like, man, what's that? You was in the Navy? I'm like, no. What is something that bring us back to discipline, bring us back to that road, but bring us back to doing the right things in life. It feels good doing the right thing, even though it's hard doing the right thing. But I ask you guys, what is your anchor? My anchor is is my I'm sorry, guy. I stutter. I was born with a stutter, so you might hear me stutter a lot. Um, but my faith in God is my anchor. That brings me back, even when I wander off, just like the prodigal son, right? And that's why I even tried to not believe. Like it was a point in my life, in my walk with God, I was like, I want to just do something else, believe in something else. You're not there. You don't hear me. I pray. You don't. You just quiet. Is God dead? But He proves Himself in His time, not our time. And it was at my lowest, at my weakness, that God showed up. And that's why, and that's for all of us. And that's why the Bible says that God's power is made perfect in weakness. His power is made perfect in our weaknesses, because that's when you see God lift you up. Right? That's when He see you lift your head up, because it's going to be things in life, right? There's going to be some challenges in life that we're not going to have the strength. There's going to be burdens in life that we're not going to have the strength to lift our own head up. It's going to be it has to be a higher power, a higher source that can give us that strength.
And
And
Sarah shared,
sometimes the hardest thing to do is to surrender. And it takes hitting rock bottom or getting to our lowest of the low where there's just nothing. It's like, I am done. I'm done. This is over. There's nowhere else I can go. And then there's this, when that's happened to me more than once, this freeing feeling of, well, the fear starts to dissipate because the worst has happened. Here I am. So if I surrender, oh, well, then there's like a voice or a feeling or a sense. Maybe there's another way. Maybe there's something else that's there. And another thing we often talk about as a family is that the brain is a runaway train unless
Mm.
we begin to train it to go in a different direction. So prayer, mantra, affirmation, that's my anchor. And music, dancing. Michael has this as well. For me, dancing is church, it's cardio, it's put on the music like the hip hop R&B between 89 and 93. And Michael and I will not leave the dance floor. We will not leave the dance floor. And a DJ a couple weekends ago was playing that, and someone said, "Where do you get your energy?" And I, have you met me? If you put this on and then the next song is just as good, and then the next song, I'm not going to stop dancing.
Mm.
This surrender that happens, the freeing feeling, also this feeling of, uh, I know what I'm doing here. I'm responding to something that makes me feel good, and I'm responding with my energy. And a woman in her 70s was there. I saw her yesterday, and she said, "You were what I loved about watching you is that your energy maintained consistency the whole way through, that I kept that same high frequency." And I realized like I need to not take it more seriously, but understand this is a vital part of my well-being is the dancing and the song.
Mm.
You know, the mantra and the prayer, it's if I wake up in the night, it's I instead of playing the tape of what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday, I go into mantra. So, yeah, the anchor. I think that we all must have something like that.
Yes.
And I
Yep,
see a
somebody
couple
has
more
their.
hands up. Who was first, Susan or Alicia?
Yeah, I was first.
Okay.
Um, Thank you so much, Roland. I'm really appreciating the conversation. And I'll just add some thoughts actually from a book that I love is called What You Want Wants You. And it's by a woman named Suzanne Eder. And so I'm relating some of what you're saying. I think the anchor is the belief, is what underlies everything. For me, is my anchor, is this understanding that I'm a spark of the divine, that I'm an expansion of the creator. And so that all possibilities exist for me. The only limitation are the ones that my mind um, puts on things. And so you talked about how important belief is, and I think it's the anchor because it is shaping everything. And she makes a point in this book, which is around all this programming and ideas we've picked up on all the way along that tell us we can't do certain things, or let's just say artists never make enough money, whatever these sort of programs are that might be running that would keep you from your passion,
Mm.
like really thinking what you want to do. And so I love the mantra, life of service is a life well lived. And if what I'm doing to be of service doesn't really light me up, if I'm doing it because I think it's what they need, um, like if I don't see the potential in everybody as a child of God, as a spark of the divine, that they have all this creative potential, that if I'm serving them as though they aren't all that, then it actually doesn't fill me. It's not sustainable. It has to come from a place of knowing this incredible potential. And then we know this for ourselves and we can know it for other people. So I think that all these shoulds in our life, like the amount we should on ourselves about what we should be doing because that's going to make money or that's going to do this or that or this is going to help somebody, is really knowing um, who we are and understanding that co-creation that it is in our lives with God, with creator source, whatever the word is that it's just our mind that limits us. And so That's my anchor. And so, and what Sarah said about music and dancing and all these things, these are things that regulate our nervous system, things that really pump us up, and then regulating our nervous system so that we're in a high ventral state allows us to be open to living our purpose because we know who we are. It's our relationship with ourselves. So thank you for reminding me of that, Roland.
Awesome.
I love that. Don't shoot on yourself.
Mm.
Uh, Silesia, you would like to uh, have a conversation with Roland here too.
Yes. Hello, Roland.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. I loved your presentation because it was very clear, simple, brief. So that really resonated with me. It was very step by step. But my question is, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who has, I guess, a major depressive disorder and nothing in life they try seems to energize them and they don't really feel passionate about anything?
Mm.
And just to give one example, recently somebody told this person that they should get a steady girlfriend that would give them purpose and energy and something to work towards. And I said to that person, this person has been in long monogamous relationships and it wasn't for them and they ended those relationships.
Mm.
So what they do now is they fill their life with a lot of noise
Yep.
and maybe could even be described as an addict, just
Mm.
trying different things that feel momentarily pleasurable,
Yep.
but having nothing really to work for or get energized about or motivated to do. And I don't know if it's like a biochemical thing or what kind of advice could you give someone like that to help them start to find meaning and purpose in their life?
Wow, that is a great point. A great question. And I'm gonna just be transparent with you. I'm gonna give you one advice, and I don't know it all. I wish that I could just say something or rub a genie, and give you, but we all have to go through this life. I get depressed. We all are creatures of habit for a long time, and right now I'm actually coming out of a habit that, like, I noticed something about habits, and like you said, your friend is depressed, and they fill themselves with temporarily pleasure. Um, it's it's blocking out the noise now. I believe hundreds of years ago, they still people were still depressed. But look, I'm gonna say this: I believe only God can give a person can bring them out of that depression. I can't. I For the longest, I used to play video games. I still play them now. But I've noticed something though. When I used to get on my PlayStation, I will want to smoke weed, and then I will want to drink some Jack Daniels. I did it every night. And now I'm gonna be real with you. I do about a couple of times. I'm slowly getting out of that habit, and this here is the spark of me bring of coming out of it. Because last night I would normally do that, or this week I was preparing for this, and normally, I got the devil mad because I'm working on my presentation. The wife came down here. She like, oh wow, she's so proud of me. I'm like, I'm working on this. But but this one I will leave you this. It's in Psalms 145 14, it says, "The Lord upholds all who fall and lifts those bent beneath their loads." Only God can bring somebody out of depression. God. Without God, it's impossible to have meaningful and a purpose-driven life. God brings significance in a person's life. Life feels empty and meaningless. life is not intended for us to live without God. God is a relational. He wants a relationship with you, with us. He made us, created us, and he has a home for us, and he loves us. And that's why I believe in the Bible, because a person can be out the church, be mad at God for 100 years, and you know what? God will still have open arms for that person and waiting for that person to return. That's the love that our God has for us. And he will give you that strength. He will give you your friend that strength. You can say self-help books are good, but I believe they only temporarily, and it's like more of a band-aid. But this is a life without God. This is a life with God. But you see the picture on the right, that person that has God in their life still have the same load as the person without God. But look, that person that have life with God and and has a relationship, he has wheels under those loads. God wants a relationship with you. When you put God back in place, that's when everything fall back in place. So that's the advice that I will give your friend.
Thank you so much. Just one more question quickly. You said you used to be a drug addict. So how did you get out of that?
I'm still coming out of it. But I don't do cocaine no more. But let me tell you, I would say my family. I would say my kids, my wife and kids. It was one time in bed. My wife asked me like, "Why do you want?" She asked me a question that stuck to me. She said, "Do you want to kill yourself?" She said, "Why are you doing this?" She said, "We love you. Your family loves you. Why do you want?" I said, and I told her honestly, I said, "Baby, I don't know. I get depressed randomly. Like even now, I can be depressed tonight and have a good day. It just comes randomly." And how I personally got out of a cocaine addiction was my faith in God, exercising, and my family. You have to be busy and rooted in something, because even the most the best Christian in the world still get depressed. But you have to be like, what are you doing? What are you seeking? Especially for a man, for women too. But before God gave Adam a wife, he gave him a job. Like, we are tended here to do something. What are you creating? This presentation, I lie to you not. Thank you, Susan, over and over again, because this has brought me to a childlike place that I once was as a child. And this had provided this just this week alone been providing so much meaning to me that people want to hear me. We need to get around, you need to get around, your friend needs to get around people that will embrace them, that will lift them up, embrace their gifts, right? You need to get it. And then that's probably half of it too. Cecile is being around the right people. It's really a lot to do that too. Being around people who will respect you and love you and lift you up and go after you, not hate on you. I'm dealing with that a little bit of that now. I'm like, wow, I'm been around. The higher you go, you can't be around everybody. People will hate you for doing great things, because you know why? A lot of people don't do nothing with their lives, and that cannot be me. You need to get around people that is doing something, actively doing, creating good in the world.
That's excellent. Thank you. I got a lot from that. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Roland. And thank you to Alicia. That was a fantastic question. I think really connected with what Roland's mission is, to help others, but also himself. We're all in that, in the work. So
Well, I
thank
love
you.
may I say just quickly,
Mhm.
Roland, I just love weaving in the vulnerability of your own personal experience is just such, I think, one of your greatest strengths, right? And just saying, even this week, this happened. And mm, as someone who's also struggled with addiction, one of the ways I see it is like taking a loan out from your future self. So it's like withdrawing money from the bank of yourself. So it's like, this may give me, can you turn that down, please? I'm just talking here. One moment, please. Excuse me. Hi, pardon me. So taking out a loan from your future self. And so you're talking about these other things like family, your children, exercising. It does not give you that jolt you're going to get if you need a quick pick me up. You're going to maybe feel good right then and there, but then you pay for it after. So for me, that was a big thing. It's like, how do I want to feel tomorrow? How am I going to be accomplishing things that are going to be helping me in the long term? Is it worth it? Can I afford to take out this loan tonight of my future self? Where is that going to leave me? Right. And one of the books I recommended for you by Rolland, The Courage to Create, regarding fear, it says a lot of creatives are afraid of structure, that we don't want, but without the banks, the river is just water everywhere, right? So this idea of implementing that structure, you're going to have more power, you're going to have more grace. People are going to want to sit near you.
Yes.
Another great one is with obstacles. Without rocks in the river makes no noise. So it's the rocks that give that beautiful, soothing sound. And what does the river do? It goes under it, around it, over it. It just continues to flow. That's the state of non-resistance, the Tao of working with God, creator, source. It just what Silesia said about the friend. Sometimes people really, as Michael always says, you have to wanna. You have to wanna. Someone is going to have to make that choice that they want to pivot out of that. Yes. Sometimes people don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like what Roland was saying.
Choice.
Be careful who you surround yourself with, because sometimes this person is just going to keep asking and asking and not doing personal digging. We're all suffering. Someone's saying, I'm suffering more than you because, are they? Not to put the friend down. Of course, pray for that person, but keep your light as you can.
Yes, it's a choice. Great point. It's a choice to want to.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yes, keep your light, Salisha, and all of us. Roland, I want to thank you so much for your time today and your honesty. You really opened up to us, and you talked about the value of your family. We're your family too now, so please feel free to join us, even just as a participant here on Soul School Network. We've had others who have done that after presenting, because it's about sharing honestly with each other and getting the input from these amazing people that you've met today. So thank you, Roland. Uh, we wish you the best, and maybe we'll have you back on in a year or so to see how you're doing and see where your mission is taking you.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Can I just ask you to
so much.
stop screen sharing? Thank you.
Okay, let me.
Yes, we generally wrap up our sessions with the mantra of unification. Michael, I haven't heard your voice enough today on the session, so would you mind being the person to deliver that for us today?
Can you just hang tight, Greg, while
Yes, yeah.
Roland, yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll put it up on the screen for
I
all of
will.
us
Yes,
to
for
see.
those who don't know it.
Yeah, and Roland, I think you'll find real value in this mantra.
I'm ready. All right. The mantra of unification. The souls of all are one, and I am one with them. I seek to love, not hate. I seek to serve and not exact do service. I seek to heal, not hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form and life and all events, and bring to light the love that underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all people love. Wiracocha. Namaste. Miigwech.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, everyone. We're back on August 16th with our next guest here on Soul School Network. You can visit our website at soulschoolnetwork.com, and that will lead you to our YouTube site where we'll have a recording of Roland's session here with us on the site the next day or so, as well as all the sessions we've done over the last couple of years. So, feel free to view those or share them as you see fit. Thank you, everyone.
Can I just jump in, Greg?
Yes, please.
I just want to remind everybody that Soul School Network Speaker Series will be running the 10th to the 30th of September on equanimity, 21 keys to, what was it now? 21 keys to thrive anyway, I've been saying it so often now I forgot. But anyway, it's on equanimity, and we're going to talk about thriving through uncertainty. And so there'll be a promo period between the 1st and the 9th of September. We have some wonderful speakers. Some you may know, Anodea Judith, Gary Zukoff, Philip Shepard, Tom Sterner, Teja Anand, Martha Creek, and on it goes. Really great speakers. So I hope you'll join us. We'll send out an email so you'll see the registration link. It's a free speaker series. So looking forward to that. And I just want to say, we didn't hear Roland say his quote, but it's something like, unless you're in the grave. What is it, Roland? Tell us your quote. You're muted.
Oh, to be honest, I did that like 5 years ago. Like
Oh,
that one sheet, I kind of forgot the quote, but it was like, unless you're in the grave, that's when you can give me an excuse to not pursue your dreams.
there you go. So we're all alive and well pursuing our dreams. We're not going to tell you otherwise, Roland. So thank you so much for what you shared today. I really enjoyed the conversation.
And to sue your session, the title of it is in the chat for anyone who wants to take a look.
Thank you.
Keys to embody peace amidst chaos and thrive through uncertainty. So that's
I really hope that this strengthens everybody and gave them strength on today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roland.
It has. It certainly has. And thank you, everyone. We'll see
So
you
grateful to hear you speak and to connect like this. It's just keep it up, Roland. You're going to help so many people. You already are, and that fulfillment it's going to be just a blessing for your family. I can see it already is, and for so many others, and that compassion, that empathy of seeing your friend that's sitting on that stoop, and because of that failure, like, you're already helping him so much, and he's a gift to you as well. So thank you for all that you shared today.
Yeah, you're so amazing, Sarah. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
We'll see you in a
everybody.
couple weeks.